Good morning, Team Alabama. We are going to do another Achieve 3000 today. And the article that we are going to read is Allies in the Infield. And this is about a book that we are getting ready to read, 42, about Jackie Robinson. Please go ahead and do your before reading poll. And we are going to take a look at the vocab that you may encounter. Imprecation, an offensive word or phrase said in anger, a curse. Meritocracy, system of choosing or promoting people based on their ability alone. Meritocracy. An epithet, an insulting or abusive term for someone. Okay? Go ahead and find your stretch article for Allies in the Infield. And then in a few minutes, we'll go ahead and you'll read your article and do your activity questions. Jackie Robinson was prepped for the imprecations and racial epithets fans hurled at him. After all, it was 1947. And he was the first black player to take the field in Major League Baseball since 1884. Robinson's arrival brought out the worst in many white Americans, from the inside fastballs thrown at his head to hate mail and death threats. But Robinson endured it all, keeping his eye on the ball and the larger objective of dismantling the color barrier in professional sports. There's a story from early in his career that goes like this. Robinson was playing first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers during an away game and ignoring the familiar, tiresome abuse when fellow Dodger and all-star shortstop Pee Wee Reese, a white player, called timeout. He crossed the infield to Robinson and slung an arm around his shoulders. They stood like that for a long moment while Reese stared down anyone daring to fling insults at his teammates. The message was more for Robinson than the bigots in the crowd, and he got it loud and clear, he said later. He had an ally in the infield, and not just any ally. Reese was one of the most popular players in the league and hailed from the segregated southern state of Kentucky. By publicly embracing Robinson, Pee Wee Reese was telling the world whose side he was on. At the time, Robinson's rise to the big leagues was loaded with significance. The United States was deeply divided along racial lines, in some states by law and in others by de facto economic, social, and police practices. A growing civil rights movement was gaining traction, demanding fair treatment, equal rights, and integration. But with the exception of boxing, segregation was the rule in professional sports, including baseball, the most popular sport in the country. Then came Jackie Robinson, whose ascension from the minor leagues to the Brooklyn Dodgers presented a very public challenge to the legitimacy of the United States' claim as a meritocracy and the land of the free. Robinson represented the promise of a racially integrated society, and many black Americans felt they had a lot riding on his success or failure, both on and off the baseball diamond. In his first year, Robinson hit 12 home runs, led the league in stolen bases, and was named Rookie of the Year. But despite his successes, he continued to find himself separated from his white teammates at hotels and restaurants. Opposing players and coaches shouted derogatory names at him, while angry fans threatened him from the stands. Robinson had a fiery temper and no tolerance for bigotry, but he kept his cool and he played hard and smart despite the harassment. Plenty of times I wanted to haul off when somebody insulted me for the color of my skin, but I had to hold to myself. Robinson said later, I knew I was kind of an experiment. The whole thing was bigger than me. Eventually, respect and admiration for him grew, especially as his exceptional play helped the Dodgers win, and they won a lot. His success opened the gates for other black players, though it took until 1959 for every major league team to integrate. Along the road to baseball immortality and the Hall of Fame, Robinson and Reese became good friends, on the field and off. In some ways, when, where, or even whether Reese put his arm around Robinson to demonstrate his support is beside the point. And the story may be more legendary than history, but it became part of baseball lore. A narrative of hope that maybe, just maybe, the country had a chance to overcome its corrosive racial history. Okay, I want you to go ahead and read your article at your Lexile level, Allies in the Field. Answer your activity questions at a 75% or higher. And then I want you to go to your thought question, and I want you to write the first paragraph. Please use race as a way to answer the question, and the R stands for restate the question. A, answer the question. C, cite the evidence. Use a quote from the text. That makes your argument much, much stronger. So you put it in quotation marks when you cite. In the article it's stated, and then use the exact words in quotation marks. And then E, explain it in a little better detail at the very end, why you believe what you believe. Okay, have a great rest of your day, Team Alabama, and shoot for at least a 75% on that. Have a great day.